Hi, I'm Kay.
Hi, I'm Elena.
We are
The
Immigration
Immigration
People.
People.
You must be wondering why is it so special today? Because today's topic takes two to tango. Welcome back to our channel where you can find all the essential information about Singapore immigration matters. Today's topic, we're going to discuss a burning question by many aspiring and new PR in Singapore. Can a Singapore PR purchase HDB flat in Singapore? If you have been longing to have your own place, if you have been dreaming to have a place called home in Singapore, this is the episode that you wouldn't want to miss. Housing in Singapore is notoriously expensive, but HDB offer an affordable alternative for you to start a family in Singapore. As a Singapore PR, you have exclusive rights and privileges, but does it include the ability to purchase a HDB flat in Singapore? Let's dive into this topic and explore the eligibility criteria for PR to purchase a HDB flat here. The allure of affordability, accessibility, and community-driven initiatives makes it a dreams come true for many residents. But here's a catch. As a Singapore PR, there are certain limitations when it comes to owning a HDB flat in Singapore. The Housing and Development Board, also known as HDB, has specific rules in place. According to this rule, a single SPR can only purchase a build-to-order BTO flat if they apply together with a Singaporean. In other words, you will need a Singapore partner or family member when you apply for the BTO. However, for Singapore PR and their family, you can still own a HDB flat through the resale market. This means that you can purchase an HDB flat from existing owner, and that gives you a chance to find a home that suits your needs. So, you have set your sight on a resale HDB flat, which is a home that is owned by previous owner that has met the minimum occupation period MOP of 5 years. As a Singapore PR, this is your opportunity to own the resale HDB flat. But first, you need to meet a few requirements. Let's break them down below. First thing first, as a single SPR, to own a resale HDB flat, you must be 21 years old and above. And you also must be a Singapore PR for a minimum of 3 years. But if you have planned to buy the resale HDB flat with your partner or your family member, both of you must be holding on to the Singapore PR status for a minimum of 3 years each. Let's not forget about the ethnic integration policy, EIP, and the SPR quota. You can read up more online about these two policies. Because Singapore is a multiracial country, it is important that we ensure a diverse and inclusive community in our neighbourhood. If you're applying to purchase HDB flat in Singapore, it is important that you ensure that you do not own any other overseas private properties. If you do, you have to sell within 6 months of purchasing the HDB flat. If you're a Singapore PR and purchasing a resale HDB flat for the very first time, here is the financial aspect of it. First, family grant. Depending on the size of the resale flat, you receive 40 or 50,000 of grant, but you must ensure that the remaining lease is able to cover the youngest co-owner until they reach the ripe age of 95 years old. Second, enhanced CPF housing grant. This grant can give you up to 80,000 in housing grant. Next, proximity housing grant. Depending on proximity, you receive either 30,000 if you're living with your parents and your children, or 20,000 if you're living within 4 kilometers from your parents or your children. And lastly, the citizen top-up. A qualified SPR household member who successfully converted to a Singapore citizen after paying the premium, the government will refund 10,000 as a special bonus in your home ownership journey.
Now, let's talk about another exciting opportunity for Singapore PRs, which is that you can sublet or rent out your HDB flat. It's a great way to earn an extra passive income. However, there are a few things to keep in mind. A Singapore PR can rent out their HDB flat provided a Singapore citizen is also part owner of this flat. The same MOP rule will apply for renting out a flat, which is you need to occupy minimum 5 years of stay in this HDB flat, and you must have completed all the payments to HDB. And here's another key point. A Singapore PR cannot rent out their entire HDB flat whether or not they have met the 5-year MOP rule. You are only allowed to rent out individual bedrooms, especially if your flat has 3 bedrooms or larger. Also, you will need to gain approval from HDB before proceeding with any rental arrangement. One of the most significant advantages is the affordability. With government subsidies, priority schemes, and housing grants, HDB flats becomes financially accessible to aspiring property owners among permanent residents. It's a fantastic opportunity to step onto the property ladder without breaking your bank. Next up, long-term security is also another major benefit. HDB flat owners enjoy a 5-year MOP before they can rent out or sell their property. While some may see this as a limitation, you can also regard this as a long-term housing security. And that means no more constantly moving around or worrying about finding a permanent home. After all, HDBs are meant for you to settle down, grow your family, and create a stable future. Next up, government benefits. Buying a HDB flat allows a Singapore citizen or PR household to be entitled to a range of government grants and benefits. For example, eligible families living in HDB flats can receive up to twice the average of the GST vouchers, also known as the U-Save rebate. These vouchers help to offset your utility bills, which can significantly reduce your monthly expenses, and also a great way to save you some extra cash. Moving on to the next advantage, convenient locations. The HDB ensures that their flats are built in the most accessible areas of Singapore. Many HDB flats are surrounded by amenities such as groceries, convenience stores, hospitals, childcare facilities, and public transport. These prime locations reduce commuting time and make daily lives more convenient for PR households. Another perk is the low maintenance aspect of HDB flats. The HDB ensures the external upkeep and routine maintenance of the communal spaces, such as corridors, parks, and lifts that undergo routine repairs to ensure a pleasant living environment for the residents. Last but not least, security. Many HDB estates have CCTVs and surveillance systems in place as an extra layer of security. These measures help to ensure a lower crime rate and a safer environment for the residents. Now that we've covered the advantages of HDB living for Singapore PRs, let us now delve into some important factors that you need to consider. Cheaper housing options such as HDB flats comes with income restrictions. The income ceiling to purchase a HDB flat is between $7,000 to $14,000. If your income range is above this, then you may need to consider other private housing options such as condominium. Eligibility restrictions are another factor to consider. Remember, if you're a Singapore PR, you're not allowed to purchase a BTO flat unless you are married to a Singapore citizen. If you are a single PR, you're not allowed to own a HDB resale flat on your own. And lastly, let's talk about rental restrictions. While reaching the MOP allows you to rent out your flat, as a Singapore PR, you cannot rent out your entire HDB flat. Furthermore, you can only rent it out under the name of the Singapore citizen whose name is listed in the HDB flat. In conclusion, owning a HDB flat in Singapore as a PR is indeed possible. It's an opportunity for you to settle down, create lasting connections with the Singaporean community, and allow you to enjoy the amenities offered by the Singapore government. As you embark on your journey to home ownership, keep in mind that being a Singapore PR opens up to a world of opportunities and benefits beyond just housing. Now, and that's all for today's episode. If you have found today's content to be helpful and informative, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more informative content on Singapore PR topics such as this. Until next time, I'll see you!